I'm going to say this too, and you can feel free to cut this out because this might be too personal and I'm sharing your info.
Are you cynical towards your wife?
And do you ever I don't even know if you can say this stuff. I got to pee so bad, it's insane.
Go pee.
But you know what? Before I go
pee.
Drain it. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm peeing my pants right now.
Oh my gosh, this is a good bit.
Being a Christian isn't my entire personality.
Hey, it's Rich, and you're listening to the Mature Me podcast, weekly content devoted to all things life, leadership, culture, and faith. Thank you for taking some time to tune in. Make sure you subscribe and follow us on all our social channels so you don't miss a thing. Let's listen to today's episode.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Mature Me podcast. My name is Rich Wilkerson Jr. Wherever you're at in the world, thank you so much for taking some time to join us. Do us a favor, as always, leave us a comment, subscribe to the channel. It helps us out so much. Every week, it is our desire to bring you, I really think, empowering conversations around people's stories, how they're growing, how they're maturing. This is the podcast that we don't just want you to grow old, but we want you to grow up, to mature, become all that you're called to be. Today, I am joined by an old, faithful friend. It's always good to see him. He is really probably no stranger to most of you that are tuning in, but I'm joined with the one and only Andy Mineo's here, everybody. There's the round of applause.
Add that in post.
We always do it in post.
Perfect.
How are you, brother?
Fantastic.
So good to see you.
Yeah, man.
I like when you're in Miami.
I enjoy being in Miami in December because it's 75 degrees.
That's
how.
By the way, that's the only time you're ever in Miami.
It's true. I come for Basil, and then I came for Ray's birthday.
Yes.
Shout out Ray Castro, an absolute legend.
Ray Castro, we love you. One of our mutual friends who has been, how long have you known Ray Castro? Like childhood?
No, like 15 years.
Okay. I'd known him for 10. Helped us start the church.
Yeah. Big.
We call him a founding member. We actually don't have that terminology, but you start saying that stuff, you know? I'm a founding member.
Oh,
what is
yeah.
this, Soho House?
Yeah. Do you want an award for that?
Yeah, we've got
a
plaque in the lobby with his
I just say my awards.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I'm living for real estate.
You feel me?
I'm living for eternal real estate.
Yeah, and it goes up in value over time. Yeah, I like being in Miami. I only come in December, which is perfect because you get Basil, and then you can wear shorts and a long sleeve and be chilling out. It's fantastic.
I love when you're here, and I feel like I'm always trying to convince you, and we're going to talk about that in a moment, to move to Miami, because I think that you would do so great here. But I was thinking as you're walking in here right now, do you remember the first place we ever met? I think I do.
I think we...
I could be wrong, but I'm gonna see if you have any memory at all that you can think about.
I do remember one time, I think we hung out with Grutman.
Yes, we did.
Was that it? Was that the first one?
I think the first time we met, I thought was in London. Is that not true?
Might have been. We met at the O2 thing?
Yes.
Maybe. I definitely remember that.
Weird,
and I remember you were buzzing around.
I'm always buzzing around.
And I was like, I think I was trying to talk to you because we started having a conversation, and then 3 seconds
couldn't ground me.
3 sentences in, you were off mixing it up with someone else. I was like,
you put me backstage at a church conference, I come alive, man.
You were working the room.
Oh man,
you were like a bumblebee.
Oh yeah,
you pop in. Hey, what's going on? I love your outfit. And then you're off to the next thing.
Do you know how many business cards I gave out at that?
I guess that's because you were just starting out, huh?
I never had a business card a day in my life. Anybody who has a business card, you're dead to me.
Business card is insane.
When's the last time someone tried to give you a business card, bro?
Yeah, I don't want this.
Yes,
here's the thing.
Let me give you a card. Yeah. How about not?
Yeah. How about I don't need another thing in my pockets? Yes. Yeah. Or how about let me take a picture of it and give it back?
How about if you have a business card, you don't have a business?
Yeah, you're crushing so many dreams right now.
How about if you're handing me a business card, you're somebody I can't trust to work with? How about if you thought it was an idea to spend any money on a business card?
Yeah.
You have no purpose in the future.
Yeah, you're just getting started. You need to stop.
I hope you have mansions in heaven because there is nothing coming for you on this earth. Oh my gosh, this is a good bit. This is a good bit.
Dude, you know how many people in your church are so crushed right now?
We've lost part of the church.
You've lost part of the church, and you're definitely putting Vistaprint out of business.
Oh my goodness, I feel terrible.
Yeah,
but
Vistaprint's is a true. No, what is it? Clubflyers.com. They're from Miami. You're putting them out of business.
I'm so sorry. Oh, bro, it's kind of funny.
No, I don't want a business card.
Yeah, or your flyer.
I don't. Yeah, honestly, if it's, I don't know.
Yo, you gotta help me pass these flyers out.
There's other ways.
Yeah, how about we take the Oregon Trail and see if we find gold? Oh my gosh, what's next? You're gonna eat my children? What is this, the Dahmer party? What?
What year is it?
Yeah, what year is
start
this?
handing out cassette tapes.
We lost mom in the winter. Okay, why not get down to Miami, bro? What is going on? This is a blast from the past.
Business card.
I think I was passing out cards at the London conference.
You weren't. Yeah. Okay.
But yes, we did. That is funny. I'm trying to think. These dates, come on, Rich. I'm pretty good at this normally. This must have been, I think I met you before we started the church, but I could be wrong on that. And then I think, yes, we went on a boat one time with Grutman, I think. Is that right?
That was like one of the first hangs.
Yep.
And that was such a wild experience. I had no idea who he was.
Have you ever heard the expression? This is a good expression. Now I'm being serious. Most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years.
Yeah, Tony Robbins. I've heard that before.
Thank you. I'm not your guru.
Yeah, you are. Funny
but it's a
story.
wild thing because I was just with Grutman recently. It's like where he was at then to where he's at now and what he's done in this city and across the world.
And you too.
Really. Well, yeah.
And you too. That 10 years, we're sitting in this building.
Yeah.
And before we would be sitting in an auditorium. Maybe, or probably
like
someone's house.
A cafetorium.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy, can you come by and do the podcast? We're in a cafetorium.
We're in a Starbucks.
Yeah, why are we in
They're
this
going to kick us out in a few minutes.
Yeah, we
Get
have
here quick.
15 more minutes because
That's right.
my internet's going to go out. But it's wild.
That's crazy. 10 years, it has been 10 years then.
Definitely.
Totally.
It definitely has
10 plus. Because I think it was probably 2013 or 14 or something.
I really think it has. You're one of those people that I just love. We don't see each other nearly enough.
No.
But I appreciate always all the things that you're up to and what you're doing. I always love talking to you. I do think I want to make this upfront too. SNL, hire this man. Genuinely hire this man. I don't know if we know anyone at SNL, but I think that you should be on SNL.
I would love to. I'd love to be a musical guest and have a few sketches. And I am ripe with ideas for the sketches.
Are my favorite thing. You're an actor,
you haven't seen them. Oh, thank you.
You're an actor. Have you ever done stand-up comedy?
No, but I'm writing some things down to put together.
I think you would kill that
a little bit.
I always
try
say
it at some point.
I think you're a preacher. You don't like that title either, but I think you're an excellent preacher. I'd love you to come.
Preachers are communicators. You know, they can connect with people. So I don't think that's out of the scope. You know, it's like if you perform on stage or you do comedy or you speak to people, it's all kind of the same wheelhouse, I guess.
Well, some of the same skills and gifts for sure. I think you should move to Miami and join the teaching team.
All right. What's the well, I'll just give you a business card when we get here. And then you let me know what the salary is.
What I want to do today, just because it's your first time on our pod, but like I kind of know it in pieces, but I'd love for you just to take us a little bit on the journey. And I know you've shared it before in different places, but just here, tell me a little bit about like growing up in New York and like getting into music, like discovering that you're really good at writing raps and battling because like you did so much of this stuff. Can you just kind of take us back a little bit to the origin story before we kind of get up? Because I think the last 10 years too, the things that you're doing, it's so unconventional. It's really cool.
No, so I started out in Syracuse, New York, where I grew up. My friend Ryan, he was like good with computers. He ended up going on to like RIT and being a tech nerd and crushing. But he was really good with computers, so he figured out how to download recording software. So this is before like there was Logic and all those things that you could just easily access now. So he hacked some software, was able to get on his computer. We kind of figured out how to record ourselves with like a little pencil plastic microphone that used to come with
I know exactly what you're talking
about. And so we did that just like as a hobby, around 10, 11, 12 years old. And once I heard back us rapping over a beat, it was just like a moment, like a light switch hit, like, this is amazing. This is what I want to do. And so from that time, like basically all my teen years and through my 20s, I was just recording myself, recording other people. I started a little studio in my basement And my mom was super supportive, except that, I was engineering. Like all through Syracuse, rappers would come and I would record their vocals and help them put together their stuff. And it would allow me to make money to buy more equipment. And my mom would come down. My mom was a Christian, and she would come downstairs when she heard the guys screaming profanity at the top of their lungs in her basement. What are you guys doing down there?
Totally.
Mom, sorry, they'll stop.
Yeah.
All right, she went back to bed. Go ahead, So that's where it kind of like got my recording chops. And I actually wasn't really good at rapping naturally. It was just, I think, the pure amount of hours and amount of fun we were having. My pen got sharper and sharper over the years. So I wasn't like naturally gifted at it. I had a bravado that was like compelling, but like the actual technical skill wasn't there. So yeah, I was like in Syracuse recording myself, recording other people. And then I went to, when I graduated high school, it was time to pick where to go to school. And it was either go play football or go to New York City and try to like pursue music. And so I was like, I'm not going to the NFL, so let's go to New York City. And I went there and I got into a program at the City College of New York in Harlem. They had the Sonic Arts program, which is the recording program. And I got into that. And like that's really where I was starting to get around real equipment, real studio stuff, and started recording my own stuff on the side. And then releasing that. And from that, started to become like the birth of the internet in a way that was like MySpace, outlets like that. You could really start to share your music, underground blogs and stuff. And I started connecting with all these people that were doing similar stuff that I was. So I just covered like 20 years quickly, but
you would have moved there when you were 18?
Yeah, when I was 17, I moved to New York City.
And who at that time was already your influences? Like what kind of...
growing up, I was listening to... The thing was, I was in a single parent home. So my mom worked the night shift and would sleep during the day.
Okay.
So I was kind of like left to my own devices to some degree. So I would get on my bike and I lived in like these townhomes where it was like tons of other houses. And there was friends that lived in different apartment units. So we'd get together and I remember like one of the first things I heard was Snoop. We were like hanging out on somebody's doorstep and they had like Doggy Style, the album playing.
Totally.
And like DMX was bubbling at that time, the Locks. And so I was like hearing all these things. My brother was a bit older than me. The first CD he ever gave me, the first rap CD I had was Life and Times of Sean Carter, Volume 2.
Oh my God.
Jay-Z. And a pair of New Balance. He was like, this is what the drug dealers are wearing here. So I got my New Balance and the Jay-Z CD. And then I was just hearing this stuff. Eminem, Marshall Mathers LP was starting to come out.
Yep.
So I was like picking up all these things, and those were my influences: DMX, Cannabis, Eminem.
That's got to be 1998, 1999.
Around
Marshall
there.
Mathers came out, I think, probably in 98.
99, I think.
99?
Yeah, 99.
What a wild record.
Wild. That turned the world upside down. I tried to listen to it the other day. I was like, I haven't heard this in 20 years, right? And I put it on and I go, this is why my mom didn't want me to listen to it. This is insane. Right? But I didn't think it was nuts then. But, being removed. Anyways.
Bro, if you put that record on, I could just start going through those.
I could do every lyric.
That's crazy.
They're like burned in there. So anyways, it's funny. But that's like where my passion, interest in hip hop came from. And then I started getting into battle rap too. Like it was something me and my friends would do for fun.
Talk to me a little bit about battle rapping. Like give us something that maybe from the outside, freestyling and battle rapping. How much does somebody go in with? Like, I carry into this thing 30 bars and I've got some margin for spontaneity. Like, I always think spontaneity comes from preparation.
Right.
So is it all just like freestyle or it's like both and?
This is a sport that has evolved over the years.
Okay.
It initially was like something you do at the lunchroom table with your friends and it was all spontaneous. And you would know it's spontaneous because you'd be talking about things that the person's wearing or, referencing something that's happening live action. What's happened now is as it's evolved from like there to like the street corners to Smack DVD to like them people filming it, now like these names started rising up of who's the best. And they wanted to put these, pair these people together and kind of make them almost like boxing events.
Yep.
And so now these people have time to prepare. And so now you're getting like UFC level, matchups with cameras and live pay-per-view and events and stuff like that. And those people prepare. But even in those moments, guys will have their stuff prepared, like 3 rounds of like 100 bars, which is insane stuff to remember. But if something happens in the moment and they want to talk about that, they'll usually come up with a rhyme, 1 or 2 rhymes, and then just put it at the front. Like, oh, let me say this real quick. The crowd will react, and then they'll go into their written. You know what I mean? So, but when I was doing it, it was all improv, and it was like almost disrespectful if you wrote something. So it was like, oh, you're spitting writtens. This is like cornball. You know.
When's the last time you did a battle rap?
Ooh, 2000. Probably 2007, 2008, and it was in Harlem. And I was Loaded Lux was one of the judges, who's like a legendary battle rapper. And it was I got a picture of it. It's crazy. It was in like this grimy brownstone on 124th Street in Harlem. And it was like we went in there and there was only like 40 people. And I got a picture. I still got a picture of it. And I made it to the final round, and I stuttered as I went to go deliver something. It was, oh, boo, you know, like the whole crowd turns against you if you don't like perfectly execute.
How dumb do you feel?
I mean, I didn't feel dumb because like I didn't like choke.
Yeah.
I just was like, I was trying to put something together and you fumbled over a word, but they're like, you know, you can't do that. So cause I had still performed really well all the way up to that point. So I didn't feel like a dummy.
How come like you guys never created like beef or battle raps like with like in like the Christian rap scene? Or has that happened? I don't know about it.
I think there is some of that. You know, people beef and send shots at each other and stuff like that.
It's just whack.
I'm like, you're a dork. Yeah. Why would you do that? Yeah. I mean, it's already dumb enough what we do. And now you want to start beefs? Yeah, good idea.
All right, so help me understand in terms of a little bit about the faith side of it. Like you grew up in a home, your mom was a believer, and so you're being influenced by that. Is that taking like root in your life? Like as a 13-year-old kid, like, yeah, I was serious about the Lord, like, because you definitely made a career. People know you as someone who became very, very influential in an incredible rapper, but with the content first and foremost in the early days being very clear, explicit.
Faith forward, so I was just she was always trying to get me to go to church but she didn't go to church herself. So it was like she's trying to get the right influences around me, you know what I'm saying? And I think the reason why she didn't go to church in those years was because like she had gone to church early days and had been church hurt and all that. So she's more like, my relationship with the Lord is just me and him, you know? But she was trying to be a positive influence because I didn't have a dad around or many male figures. So she's like, hopefully Christian guys will be, you know, of help. And I was a menace, like a complete tyrant as a kid. So she was trying to send me to like boarding school because I was just overwhelming her. And she had me at 42. So she's like in her older years, like she's in her 50s while I'm like a teenager. She's like, I'm tired. I'm working the night shift. You're a psycho. So, I did end up having a friend that would go to church, and I would go with him because they'd have like a thing, you know, in the basement for like the younger people. And I was like, I'm meeting girls down there and, you know, I'm learning stuff. So there was like inputs and seeds being planted. But one summer, my sister went to go work at a camp in the tri-state area. And it was, she was going as a counselor. And this camp, they would take inner city foster kids from New York and bring them there for like 9 days. So you're taking them out of the city and they're getting to experience zip lining and rock climbing or whatever the things they had. And she told me about that. She's like, why don't you come with me? And I was like, Christian camp? How lame. Like, I'm not going to waste my summer. And she's like, there's zip lining, there's rock climbing, there's girls.
I'm in.
All right, I'll meet you there. So I went that summer and ended up, zip line? I'm in.
Remember heavyweights? It's like, they've got
there's the blob.
There's the blob. Sorry.
Do they have the blob?
Get off the scale.
Yeah. So I went that summer and I ended up meeting, there was just like older guys, which were probably like 18, 19, 20 years old, that were Christians and they were cool. And they were like showing love to me, you know? And I was like, I like that. I want to be more like that. And so that's really when like there was real consideration and a moment of maybe coming to faith when I was like, I think I want to try to follow Jesus, you know? And it's been a journey since then, but that was like the beginning of like faith kind of really taking root.
How old do you think you were then? 15?
Probably like 13, 14.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Right around there. And then, yeah, that was like the beginning of like a faith journey. But so now I love rap. I love hip hop. I love all these, the Eminem LP, Marshall Mathers LP, which is like saying insane stuff.
Sorry.
And now I'm like, all right, so now I'm a Christian. How does that work? So I started discovering that there was Christians who would rap. And that was like Cross Movement and some of these guys. And there was like a big push at that time. I don't know if you remember this, but like evangelical Christians were trying to get kids to break their CDs, or like
I broke a lot of CDs.
Completely separate themselves from anything that was not Christian, and so that was my tension. I had friends that were like, yo, I can't believe you listening to that, man. And I was like, I don't have anything else, But guys like, what was it? Cross Movement ended up being a bit of a bridge. Totally. Like, all right, this is hip hop and there's some Christian ideas in here. At least I don't feel bad listening to it. And I get what they're trying to do. Parents and church, they're trying to like have as many positive inputs in your life as possible. But it did get, it's a little legalistic and kind of strange. But
don't you think it all changed? Because you have a child now. Like becoming a parent, you're like,
totally.
Oh,
I get why they were uptight about it.
Okay, I get it. I'm trying to protect my kids now. It's like, I used to always kind of make fun of homeschool kids. Guess who goes to homeschool? All of my children.
Yeah.
And they will till they're 25.
Yeah.
So I think there is this level of protection. I do think it's fascinating. Like your mom had you at 42. I'm 41. I'm so tired with 4 kids. And I love my kids and it's the greatest thing ever. But to have a child at 42 and then to do it from a single parent, like to all the single parents out there, huge shout out. It to me is miraculous what you're able to do. Like, don't you just see that now? Like going,
no.
Mom, who are you? You are a freak.
Now that I've had my first kid, like there's been so many times I've wanted to call her and like talk to her about it. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, how did you do this? Like, and I have so many questions now that I'm doing it. But my mom passed in 2018, so I can't obviously do that. But like now there's things I wish I could talk to her about because of that. And like even to come down here for a few days, I got to leave my wife alone with the kid. And I'm like,
okay?
She's not. That's the thing.
Yeah, she's not.
We had to leave her with family, like 6 other people to try to help. And it's 1, let alone 4. So yeah, I get it, man. And there's even music that I don't like, but I understand the value and function of it for kids. You know what I'm saying? And I also understand why people get mad at me when my music isn't explicitly Christian enough.
Sure.
Because they're like, I want to play this for my kids. Why are you talking about adult themes, And I'm like, oh, you want me to make... I think Christian art and Christian music, this is why I struggle with the title so much, is synonymous with good for all ages. And I'm like, that's literally not true. But that's a expectation that comes when you're titled Christian and you make art.
Yep.
And I think that's really where a lot of my beefs are in the labeling of Christian art and Christian music. So I'm like, oh, my music, just like the Bible, isn't for all ages.
Preach.
So I'm like,
you read the whole thing, it's definitely, there's PG, PG-13.
Totally.
R and some other stuff that should be not rated because it gets really, really wild for sure.
Well, I mean, you had to be over 13 years old to read Song of Solomon. There's like age limits for stuff because they're talking about sex. There's beheadings happening. I mean, like there's stuff that's not for all ages. And nobody says the Bible isn't Christian.
There might be some.
I mean, it's a Jewish book. But, no one takes beef with the Bible.
No, my whole point is that there's actually some people I think that play into this. And I want to talk about this for sure. But like, the box that they create is too small for the Bible itself.
Totally.
The box that they create at times is too small, certainly for God. And so I think that becomes an extra burden and an extra barrier for someone who's an artist and who's trying to do all that under the Lord. But I do everything under the Lord. It's not like I just do the Sunday thing and preach my message. I'm living my life. And that can become a weight and a burden I can only imagine that you guys have had to carry. And I want to talk about that. As far as just kind of following the path a little bit. Talk about like maybe this breakout moment of like how you're sort of discovered or how you start to make a career because you're at school and you're battle rapping and you're starting to gain a following.
Right.
Is there some like pivotal moments like this was a breakout moment? Like where did that take place?
So I was like getting more serious about my faith when I went to college.
Yep.
So my freshman year of college, I started connecting with all these people, Alex Medina, Rich Perez, and they're like serious about their faith. And it made me want to step up, that it's not just like a passive part of my life, but they're like, yo, we go to Bible study, we go to prayer, we go to this thing on Saturdays, like this discipleship. And I'm like, oh, I need to step up. Like I need to grow in my faith. And also I was going through the breakup with my high school girlfriend. So I was like, you're heartbroken. You're looking like, what's next? I'm in a new city. And I think my faith really became my own in a serious way in college. And that's when I started like going, all right, well, if I'm really good at rapping, let me refocus. As a rapper, you talk about what you're interested in, what you like, what you think is fly. So like my faith started becoming real, started making its way into my music.
Beautiful.
And so that's really where like I started to find like a community of people that were looking for that. People that loved hip hop, but loved rap, loved culture, fashion, sneakers, all that, right? And I started to discover that existed. So I was making that stuff because the school program I was in had me in a studio. I would definitely take like extra hours afterwards to just work on my own music.
Yeah.
And I started putting it out. And Lecrae found it because my buddy Alex Medina was producing for him. And he was kind of like, yo, you need to check out my boy Andy. Like, he's killing it. So Lecrae found a song that I had called Bitter. And he just sends me a message. I'm like, oh, he might have found the email on the website or something. And was like, yo, this is crazy. We need more people that are doing what you're doing, which is like, they're Christian, but they're talking about their life, and relatable things. And so I was like, Lecrae was bubbling. He was blowing up at that time. And I was like, oh shoot, like this is a moment for me to be acknowledged by someone who's killing it. So he was like, we should work on something. And I sent him Background, which was a song that was on that one of his albums that did really well. Rebel, maybe? Rehab or something? Rehab. And that song ended up becoming the #1 song on that album. It was like the highest performing song. So then people were trying to find out who's the person that was singing on the chorus, and it was me. And so I think that was like the beginning of record labels wanting to talk to me, like, who's this person? You know what I'm saying? And that's when I started getting offers from like Sony, from Reach Records, from some startup labels. And I decided to go with Reach Records because I loved what their mission and their vision was, change the world, change the way people see the world. And so I signed with them in 2011, and they just had this massive, explosive moment from 2010 to like 2015. They were one of the 3 biggest independent music labels in the world.
Wow. I didn't know that.
It was like us, Rostrum, which had like Mac Miller and Wiz Khalifa.
Wow.
And it was like we were the biggest independent label in the world. So it's kind of bugged out.
That's crazy.
So there was like, it was like a rocket ship. Everything was exploding at that time.
So joining that whole like space, did that now create brand new friendships? You're meeting people that are all in the industry.
Totally. I mean, there's a Christian music industry called Christian contemporary music. And that's like the country and CCM side. And that's kind of like developed, but there was no like Christian hip hop industry. There was like 2 labels.
Yep.
So you can't build like touring, tour buses, sponsors. You can't like build that. So we kind of built it from the ground up. And even now it's not like a super robust industry, but there's definitely more options and more things available now. But it's a smaller like demographic and market size.
Were you guys very aware of what you were doing? Like, was there a strong presence of mind? Was there a lot of meetings like, this is how we're going to brand this, create this, and we're forging away? Did you feel yourself like?
No.
Didn't.
I mean, we thought we were like, our goal is to just be a light in hip hop.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And be an alternative. We didn't like, there was things happening in culture that we didn't even realize that we were a part of. You're just like, I feel like this is what the Lord wants us to do. Like, we went and did a tour in Africa in 6 different countries for like 0 pay. And it was only because we found out that there was a window in the 2040 window or something like that, where like people don't go and perform there because there's like, they can't get paid for real. And then like people don't really go and share faith or the gospel there. So we were like, let's go there and do a tour.
For you.
Yeah, it was like, that's the type of stuff we were doing, which is all just like faith driven, and we're all in our 20s, so we like don't have homes and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bills and responsibilities either. So we're just going
Hit the road.
nuts. Let's go. And I think that created a lot of momentum and kind of like a movement. It's crazy to go around the world and see people.
Certainly is a movement. It was a movement. I just always kind of wonder when maybe sometimes when we're a part of something, we don't always know it's happening in real time. It's like only looking back, you're like, oh, that's pretty special. When you look back on that whole time, is that the general feeling it's special? You're like, no, it's way more complicated than that for me. Like,
it's more complicated, but it is like special. Like there was a purity of heart because there was no money involved. And I always think money and Christianity is such an interesting intersection for me that creates so much tension. And I don't even really know what the answers are, but it is a convoluted thing for me. And I've been trying to figure that out and work through it. And I want to ask you about it actually. But like, we were just going and doing what we were passionate about. And like, we were zealous for the Lord and just like, hoorah. And we had a very narrow view of what it meant to be like a Christian and be a rapper. It was like, if you're very like legalistic in some ways, like, yo, if you rap and you ain't doing it like this, you're out.
Were you ever like that? Because I've always known you like, and once again, it's always fun. It's like, I've always known you to be so fun. I've always found you to be very, very gracious to like the people that are all around you, to me, and not like hard lines like that. But I feel like I was talking to Lecrae recently. It's like some of that camp, it was very, very hard lines. And maybe I just wasn't aware of that. But were you like that? Were you
like, I think people, when they first become a Christian and they get into it, sometimes there's like a season of like a legalistic know-it-all. Like, this is how it is. And if you ain't rocking with
probably
it.
Have a purity of heart though, right?
Totally, right. That's why it's like a complicated thing, because you can look back on that with a little bit of shame, but also be like, but I was doing the best I could at that time with what I knew. So I definitely don't feel like a hardliner anymore for sure, because I understand the complexity of people's journeys with Jesus, right?
But you had an opinion on people rapping that this is what it means like to rap for Jesus.
For example,
you better have some good theology in that thing.
Exactly. And it was like, there was certain guys, like, it's funny, even Governor B is a funny, it's like, I know him from England, right?
Yeah.
He was kind of like bubbling up and at that time, and he had like feel good, positive music.
Yeah.
And he was a Christian. He's like, yo, can we do a song together? And I was like, nah, man, I don't know if you really about
What's your eschatology?
Right, right. You like put them through the gauntlet of trying to make sure that they're legit. And I never did a song with him because I was like, nah, you ain't like hardcore enough. Which is crazy because I ended up obviously doing songs with him later. Like, but he's like, dude, I love the Lord. I didn't know I had to like be like this in order for us to work it. I mean, bro, there was a period of time where literally for guys to collaborate with each other, they'd have to get like a reference from their pastor.
See, this is fascinating.
This is insane, right? But we were under a very like, it was like the Reformed theology camp was kind of what was informing a lot of our thinking, and they're very hardliner. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And they're right about everything. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I think that was like what we were learning from Mark Driscoll, like John Piper, all those guys at that time, and I think it kind of radicalized us a bit in that direction. So. Yeah, I don't even know where I was going with it. I think just kind of filling you in a little.
When you look back sometimes on your younger self, yes, it's more complicated, and we can continue to dig into some of those things that are complicated. I think money does skew things completely. Money in itself is not evil, but the love of it, it's hard not to love it when you keep getting it. You know what I mean? It's hard not to love it when you start to find it to be, it provides a new life. It provides security. I love the Lord, but do I love this thing more?
Yeah.
But before we even get to that, like, is there ever parts of you, and this is, I'm kind of speaking now out of my own experience, but like that you miss that naivety, maybe ignorance, maybe some of the simplicity? Like, is there any parts of you, like as you're creating now today from a place of success and like, oh, that's Andy Mineo, like there's an expectation that maybe comes that sometimes it's helpful, but other times it's like, yo, this better be amazing. Whereas like before, it's like, I'm just creating not to fail, and I'll get out here and battle rap and like, yo, if I get booed, big deal.
Yeah.
When I was younger, it's like, I'll preach anywhere, any moment, let's go.
Right.
If I'm going to be buzzing around some green room, like meeting people. Now it's like, I don't know. I feel like as I get older in midlife, I'm at 41 right now. It's like there's more to lose, or maybe you've been like sobered.
Yeah.
Can you weigh into that at all? Does that resonate in any way, or maybe it doesn't?
Yeah, I look at my like early 20s and stuff as a it's like we were talking about this last night with Ray for his birthday. You look at it with a little bit of sadness, is you're like, oh, that was a fun time, but also like, thank God I'm not there anymore.
Yep.
So it's kind of both. Or even sometimes like resentment. Like we were talking about this, like, yo, when I was in my 20s, I was really trying to like not sleep around.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, Lord, I gotta stay right for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And now I see dudes who are like Christians with platforms. Like, I don't care. I'm sleeping with whoever. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Why does nobody care about like holding on to these values or whatever? And then I started to get like resentful, like, yo, maybe I should, like,
wow,
maybe oh man, did I miss out? You know what I mean? On like my zealousness for the Lord that kept me from all these things. I'm like, oh, maybe I missed out. But then I start thinking like, nah, I think the Lord probably kept me from some things, like
absolutely
having kids or, whatever that, may, not like kids aren't a blessing, but like, just getting into messy, getting into messy situations. But I do miss like the newness of faith that was then. Like, in the Bible, it talks about like, I think King David talks about like, restore to me the joy of my salvation. Like when you first become saved and God loves you and you're downloading this new identity, like there's a newness, just like falling in love. There's a newness to it that's almost like magical and surreal. And I would wake up some mornings just like, I'd wake up and I would just start praising God, like, thank you, Lord, for life. Thank you for, and I do miss some of that like, I can't wait to get over and go to this Bible study so we could talk about these things, because it was all new and it was all pure to me, right? And then I think what happened is over years, you start seeing like a little bit behind the curtain. You start getting invited to all these events. You start realizing so many of the people you looked up to are not living the lives they pretend to be, and they're having public failures and all this. You start to be like, yo, what is this thing real? Am I bugged? You start to question. So I think that's what I miss. But also where I am now, I feel a lot more like freedom. Like I don't feel the anxiety and pressure that I felt then. Like it was like then if I missed one day of reading my Bible, I was like, I am nothing. Like God is so upset with me. You know what I'm saying? Where now I understand, like, I might need to just go sit outside and meditate and look at nature and talk to God, and that's fine. Where I feel a freedom to who I am. I've also said this, like, being a Christian isn't my entire personality. And I think that has been something that's really rubbed people the wrong way. But it's something that I've like grown into. I'm like, no, I'm a person who likes basketball, sneakers, fashion, comedy. I'm also a Christian, right? And I try to bring that into like naturally everything I do. But I think some people have wanted that, like, I want every time I interact with you for it to be this.
Yep.
All about this one thing. I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that.
Well, I'm more than that, and there's much more. I'm more complicated than that to say it
for sure
in a specific way.
For sure.
It's interesting that you bring up. I think that's. I could be wrong. I think it's Psalm 61, but restore to me the joy of my salvation.
Yeah.
And that psalm shows up right after a pretty pivotal moment in David's life. It's right after the prophet Nathan comes to him. Is like, yo, he tells him that whole parable. Like someone, the story's about him, but he's like, he wants justice. He's like, kill that man. It's like, well, that man is you. It's like, oh gosh, it's a whole like, movie bar. The man is you. And I think for all of us, it's like he's praying that prayer out of a sobering moment of my sin against you, first and foremost, God, but of course, humanity and my brethren, that's leaving me to a place of brokenness and being contrite. And I think when we first come to the Lord, we're much more acquainted with what he's saving us from and the mercy that he brings us. I think sometimes we can kind of go in life and we can get comfortable, or we can have success in life and we can kind of grow distant from that initial moment of repentance.
Yeah, right.
And I think wisdom for all of us, the maturity moment for all of us is like, I don't want to blow my life up again for the joy of my salvation to come back.
Right.
What kind of habits and patterns can I create to create gratitude? And that's easier to preach. Obviously, I'm not trying to preach at you, but it's an interesting moment of when he prays that prayer.
Yeah.
There's something drastic and dramatic taking place in his life. He is being acquainted with, I deserve God's judgment, but he's giving me mercy. I'm not going to be struck down when I should be. I just struck down this other man and took his wife. and here I am, and God's not going to do that to me, but can you give me back the joy of my salvation? Let me get back to that phase, to that space.
Yeah.
Isn't that Revelation 1 or 2, my first love?
Yeah, right.
And I know that too. Like, I know that feeling. Like, I think I just look back on some of those times a decade ago, and the simplicity of it all. I think that as we grow, kids, marriage, you're not just making music now, you're running a business, and you're feeding other people, you're not just feeding your mouth.
Right.
All of that kind of creates these layers of responsibility that can kind of feel like it's weights that are on you, and it makes you feel real stuck. I'm speaking about myself.
Yeah.
And
well, you can't move as nimbly because it's not just you. You have to consider so many other people in every decision. And I think that's when it feels stuck, it's like, I'm not just moving solo.
Yep.
That's all.
Well, I think sometimes like church life, and now I'm going to crack it open this way. Like, there's all these like connotation like mega church, and I get it. And obviously I'm a part of that whole thing, like big church and consumerism. And I feel like I've raged against that, but now at 41, it's like, well, I've got a big church. And I've had these moments as of recent where like, there's things at times that is not my preference that I have to submit over to the greater purpose of new people being on the journey, that if I just do what I want to do, and I'm not talking about like sin right now, I'm just talking about like, even just like direction wise, or like, hey, I want to talk about this or do that. It can create ripple effects.
Totally.
For so many other people.
Totally.
Like, I don't know if I want to in February talk about relationships again. Well, there's a whole bunch of brand new people that know nothing about what God says about marriage, how to raise their kids. And so I can kind of feel like the artist in me, like, dude, I've done this kind of stuff before. Well, it's like, yeah, but this other thing that you're a part of now is grown bigger.
Kind of requiring that.
And I have to reconcile that my own narrative based upon what they're going to say about me. And I think the freeing thing as we hopefully get older is that we get more comfortable in being who we are, which, hey, I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'll take the shots at, that looks like you're, I'm speaking about myself, not you. I think the awareness of why I'm doing what I'm doing brings freedom to me, and not living for the applause outside, the external validation that maybe I rode on more when I was younger. I think is a big part of me even just maturing and becoming a man, probably. I think a lot of this is manhood that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And growth.
Which is connected to responsibility.
Totally. Well, how would you, when we kind of even open that up, like the tension of all that, like from going from being an artist to growing something much larger, how do you feel like you manage some of those tensions, or what are some of the practicalities for you?
Yeah. This is like that's kind of what I was talking about with like faith and money.
Yep.
And I don't. Maybe we'll end up going down a rabbit hole. Feel free to cut this out.
We can go on any rabbit holes here.
Yeah,
I like
it's
it. And I always love your perspectives and your observations.
That like if you do what you got to do, you can do what you want to do.
Yep.
There's like a funny quote. Now I'm realizing, okay, I'm not single anymore. I have a wife. I also have a mortgage, and I have a child, right? And so like, I'm adding more responsibility to my life, which matures me more and like actually calls me to like step up and grow and become more, which is a beautiful part of responsibility. But then also what happens is when you are more responsible, you can't, I'm looking for this quote, and forgive me, I'm not as well-spoken as you.
Yeah.
But it's like, essentially, just with more responsibility, you can't say what you want to say, right?
Yep.
Or just do what you want to do sometimes. And I'll find the quote and I'll get it to you. But with that, I have to figure out how to. I also employ people. I have staff. I have 2 full-time staff. I have to start figuring out how I'm going to live my life, which means I might drive a Honda Civic for a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Instead of the car that I want to drive, because I'm like, I need to employ these other people because they're going to help me serve the bigger vision that we have, right? So I'm making decisions to intentionally like cut back to serve the greater mission. And then I don't know if the greater mission is going to work out. So you're living in this tension of like believing and hoping that the work you're putting in will pay off.
Yep.
And then I have gotten to this weird spot that me and a lot of the guys talk about, where I have become known as a artist that is a Christian, and there becomes an expectation when you have built your life or like almost your career on the idea of Christianity, because I feel like that can be such a tension point. Because what if people start changing in their views about God, but literally can't say anything about it because their paycheck and livelihood and all the people they support is directly connected to them being that thing that people expect them to be, right? And I'm not like confessing I don't believe in Jesus no more, but I do. I'm a Christian. I still believe in Jesus. I practice my faith, but I'm like, man, I think some people might get trapped there. And we were talking about this a little bit. Is like certain, even like pastor friends we know, they might be like, I want to get off this rocket ship, but I can't because everything is tied to it. So how do you be honest and true and still not blow everything up? And maybe you have to blow things up. But this is why I've actually tried to shed the label Christian artist. And I think a lot of people are upset about that because they think somehow I am like trying to deny Jesus. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just trying to not directly connect my monetary value to being a Christian. I want to follow Jesus. I don't want to monetize him. That's really what I'm trying to do. And so you think it's in this attempt to distance myself out of shame or out of not believing. And I'm like, it's not that. I just don't want the expectation. Like if I'm an artist, right, and I'm making a song and I'm like, all right, but people think I'm this thing. So let me just insert some uninspired information about Jesus in here so I can quell their expectation. I'm like, now I'm not being a good artist. And I'm also not even being like honest. So if you ever hear me talk about Jesus in my music, it's because I actually am having a sincere moment. And I think this is the weirdness of that intersection. Do you get what I'm saying?
Of course. I think you're saying it really, really well.
I'm not trying to monetize it. If I talk about Jesus, it's because I really feel that.
Yeah.
Not, I better do it because these people are expecting that. And I feel like that's a way more like healthy place to be.
Yep.
So if I remove that title, now like I'm just get to be an artist who is also a Christian. And when you hear me talk about this or that or marriage or life, whatever, it's all coming from me and that's why I was saying earlier, being a Christian isn't my entire personality. It's a part of who I am.
Yep.
And it informs everything. But I'm not going to package it up every single time I do something in order to appease an audience because I'm not a product. I'm a person. But the things I make are products that people consume. You get what I'm saying?
Totally.
So it's this tension point. And I'm like, to be 100% honest with you, I could package up and sell Jesus and make way more money because there's a huge audience that wants that.
Yep.
And I'm like, no, I have to, if I talk about him or communicate about it, it's because I want it to be out of honesty. And that actually has been hurting me. People are like, you're not this, that, and the other thing. Why? Because I didn't say all the things you expected me to say. I didn't insert enough. What do you want me to say? Holy Spirit rained down, and now all of a sudden I'm in. What if I was saying that out of just a complete desire to make money off of you? How do you know? You don't know the you know what I'm saying? The heart behind what's happening. And so I don't know. It's been a tension point, and I feel like this like, okay, well, some of my livelihood is connected to being known as a Christian. That's why I've taken the money that I've made and I've tried to invest in real estate and other things outside of the music industry so that I could be true and honest to my art form and still feel like my bills and stuff could be paid, right? Without having to try to go like pimp Christianity to make money. So
I think that what you're saying is really, really important because I think honesty is actually everything. And it's sad to me, but I totally know the pressure and the feeling. And I don't think we're sitting on our soapboxes complaining. I think we're just talking about our own lives. But it's sad to me that I would hope that in Christian circles, honesty would be a high value point.
Right.
But at times it feels like more like, no, say it the way we want you to say it.
Right.
Believe it the way we believe it and explain it the way we explain it. I'm reading right now Orthodoxy by G.K. Chesterton, which is his response book after he wrote a book called Heretics. And in both books, he kind of starts with like a little small like parable, which is wild because the guy is like a hyper, like what they write, the way he wrote, I don't know if it's 100 years old. It's like I have to like really sit and like deeply listen.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just, you talk about a pen, you know, like, oh my gosh. But in Heretics, the book that he wrote before, the reason why I wrote Orthodoxy is because Heretics was just pretty much just criticizing like all these different belief mechanisms that are out there with really no solutions. So he's like, all right, I'll give you some solutions. And his solution is Orthodoxy. And his whole idea is a guy who sails out and thinks he discovered England only to find out that England had already been discovered, but just how beautiful it was that he got there to go, this is brand new, but it's like, no, New South Wales is actually Old South Wales. It's already been discovered. The idea of Orthodoxy is like, could it be that my entire foundation is not this new thing? It's actually this very, very old thing. And he uses irony and paradox all over the place. But in heresy, heretics, the whole premise there is that we live in a world that is only like pragmatic, that everything is about practicality and like, you know, does that have a practical answer? And I think that crushes any type of an artist because I feel this way in sermons. Like if I don't wrap it up with the cross and a bow and explain and tie up every point, it's like, whoa, can I leave it in tension? Can I leave it in nuance? And there's a whole lot of people that you might get even backlash, even right here, like, no, as a preacher, it's always the black and white truth. And I just think that, there can be black and white truth, but you can still do so in mystery. I mean, I think we remove so much mystery these days as evangelical Christians. And I think for you, it's like, what I'm hearing is like, hey, I just want to create some more space. It's not that I'm ashamed of being a believer. It's not that I've gone against my orthodox views on Christ, his death, his burial, and his resurrection, but I'm broader than what you're putting me into. And if I don't create some space and do so through honesty, you'll just turn me into your little puppet and you'll just turn me into, feed the machine, and you'll just repeat what gets celebrated. And so it can be scary to try something new that's
to push back on it.
To push back.
Because so much of what I've done throughout my career is I've been like, oh yeah, how about I push back on that idea so that we can have a more robust understanding of like what's happening here. Instead of just like, sometimes when I listen to Christian music, I feel so bored. I'm like, are you guys just regurgitating like stuff that Rich said from the pulpit? You know? I'm like, where is your personal, like creative, artistic, unique fingerprint that God put on you? Where's your expression and your ideas? I feel like we're parroting so much stuff. And I'm like, the human connection and like the moment that it touches the divine for a second is like what I look for in art. That's why I can see art made by non-Christians and totally feel connected to God, because they're touching on mystery or things like more profound things that God
more honest.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I don't need another person just saying the exact right thing. I might just need to feel connected, so I don't feel alone on this journey. I feel like, and I don't want to attack Christians, but I feel like our understanding of art is so narrow. I mean, maybe that's just a human thing, but I'm like, you understand art lives in the gray. Like there's nuance and depth and wait, so you guys just want things laid out, perfectly explained every time? Those aren't the type of movies I want to watch, the type of art that I want to invest in. And maybe at one time I did, but not right now, And I feel like, I think our understanding of art is so narrow that it really limits the expression of that God wants to have, you know what I'm saying, through us.
When do you think you started feeling that, like on your journey? Because you talk about those 4 or 5 years, you're touring, you're very missional, you're forming a movement, whether you're aware of it or not. You're creating a genre and a space. You're a pioneer. You're a trailblazer. You were in New York for so many years. Now you're in Atlanta. Kind of help us kind of cross some of those bridges in terms of like, if there's some pivotal moments. And I do want to talk about you going to Atlanta and some of the stuff that you guys are doing.
Yeah. Probably 2014, 2015 when I made Uncomfortable.
Yep.
And, there was a formula in like Heroes for Sale and Neverland that like, if you do these things, these hoorah, high energy records that talk about God, like people love that, they'll eat it up. So on Uncomfortable, I was like, I want to go the complete opposite direction. I want soulful. I want jazzy. I want salsa. You know what I'm saying? I want experimental because I don't want to be boxed in as this type of person. And I want to show the tension more in my music and in my art of what it means to believe. And so like on the opening line of that album, Uncomfortable, I'm like directly attacking the machine that was supporting me at the time. So I was like, you know, the whole second verse, even just talking about like evangelicalism and the, you know, if you're a Christian, that means you're conservative. That means you're Republican. That means you vote this way. Like I'm attacking all these ideas, and you're like, you're attacking the people that are now finding you as like their poster boy.
Do you think you're aware that when you were, do you think that you were aware that they would perceive it that way or interpret it that way? You knew exactly what you were doing, or it's more like,
I was just pushing back on what I was sensing at the time, and you don't know what the ripple effects are going to be.
And what was the ripple effect?
The ripple effects are like, oh, this isn't what we want. You know, what we want is you to do all that stuff that you were doing, you know? And as an artist, that's a tension point, because as an artist, the way I am is I'm an artist merchant. So like I create art, but my livelihood is connected to the consumption of that art.
Yep.
Some people just create art for the fun of it because I have a day job.
Yep.
So I don't have to put
That's
no
me,
pressure.
By the way.
Yeah. I don't. I'd have no pressure for this
I
to
have
succeed.
no pressure on anything that I make.
Which is why I got into photography, because I was like, I need a creative space where I enjoy something, and there's zero pressure. And when there's zero pressure to perform, you start to explore. You start to like feel free. You start to really like break rules and try stuff because there's no expectation, and then there's no like money connected to that you have to now employ people with. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I think that is the real tension of like this whole scenario is like becoming known for my faith, and then feeling like I have to put that back in my music. And then also the this is what they call like every artist that sells out. It's like you need that hit record so you can really get some cushion. So you start hearing people create stuff that's not true to them in order to try to gain the mass adoption and the money that comes from it. So I've tried my hardest to not play that game, you know, and still find a way. So I was like, all right, I'd rather drive a Honda Civic and live below my means than have to go and prostitute my art to be more successful.
Have you ever felt like you've succumbed, that you did in some way prostitute your art?
You know what? I can confidently stand here and be like, nah. The only thing I might say is like I've taken shows to do live events and performances at things that I'm like, I don't really think this is cool, but this is really going to help me have space for the next 2 years to employ my team.
There you go.
You know, and
But you could still put it into your own philosophy and your own value system of going, I'm going to do something I don't want to do so I can do the thing that I do want to do.
That's right.
So it's a narrative and a framework that I can live with.
Yeah, definitely. And that's how that's how I had to frame it.
Yeah.
So I think all of us have to go to work, you know what I'm saying, to some degree. But I didn't have to change what I hope is going to be my digital footprint on the earth. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like the music that I leave behind, the art, the ideas, and the philosophies that I share. Doing a live show is like I'm performing for these people and trying to share my art with them. But yeah, it's a real tension point. And I wanted to ask you, like, are there things that you want to do that you feel limited to do because of how big the church has gotten? And do you ever like, I don't even know if you can say this stuff, but do you even like feel like I can't even really communicate how I feel sometimes because I'm worried about this big thing that I've built? And it's not because you value the big thing. It's because you value all the human beings that are part of the big thing. You know what I mean?
I think the answer is certainly
can I get
yes.
some water?
Yeah, get this guy some water.
Yeah. Get some water.
I think the answer is definitely yes. I think it's in degrees. And I think same thing for me. It was what I was saying earlier, is I think that we're all telling ourselves some sort of a story. And it's like, what story do you want to tell yourself? Yeah. This is, by the way, this is No Days Off, Manny and Sumner. Like,
made in what?
No Days Off is the water. And it's, we start doing that.
Oh, thank you.
He sponsors the show. He doesn't, but he should. Let's
start that.
No, I think the answer is yes, but it's in degrees. And I think it comes down to the story. And I think it comes down to values. And I like the framework that you're saying. I like that old phrase. Like, sometimes you have to do some things you don't want to do so you can do the thing that you do want to do. I think I see a bigger purpose behind all of it, but certainly I'm very aware as things grow. Oh, what am I weighing into here? Am I just throwing? Am I just I think places like this have been really fun because it's been an outlet to show parts of my personality.
Yeah.
That, not that it doesn't fit in a Sunday morning context, but sometimes it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Sometimes it
Straight up.
doesn't. You know what I mean? Like you doing a 5-minute bit on business cards, you know what I'm saying, with you and laughing. Like, I just don't know if we're going to have the 45-minute time frame or anyone's there for it,
And you shouldn't.
It's like, I got some friends, it's like, I have some friends that are really funny in the pulpit. It's like, that's great. Like, but like, I don't think anyone came on Sunday to hear me do stand-up. I'm not saying not to use your personality, but people are there for a purpose and a reason.
Absolutely.
And
you want to serve that purpose.
You got it. You got it. And so I think for me, it's less about the perception of people and it's more about just time. I think as things grow, it's like time is the greatest commodity that you have, and where is my energy going? Yeah. And so are there other things in my heart that I want to do? Yes, there is. And I'm trusting God, and I've given those before the Lord. And it doesn't mean that I don't try to find some other space to do them, but I've made some commitments and I have to honor those commitments. And so because of what it is today, it takes a lot of time. And do I think it will always take this amount of time? I hope it doesn't. But for today, I know where my priorities are and I know the things I've committed to, and I have to remind myself of that. But in all of that, I'm very, very grateful. Like, I don't think that I'm stuck. I don't wake up going, I wish I could get out of this. I don't feel like I want to pull the lever on the bus. You know what I mean? I feel like I've got vision for where we're going.
Yeah.
I feel like.
What is that?
In terms of what?
What's the vision for where you're going?
I think right here in Miami, I see this city as a really, really pivotal city across like the world.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's so in God's providence that somehow I was dropped here in 1998. I think all of the way that I was raised, brought up. Someone was asking me the other day, like, do you ever have a dream to pastor somewhere else? I'm like, bro, to be quite honest with you, like, I'm not saying this out of some noble thing. I don't think I could pastor a church in some other city. Like going to Atlanta right now, like, oh, churches go good in Atlanta. I don't think it would go good for Rich Wilkerson Jr. I don't think I could pastor a church in Dallas. Like, it's not because I look down on those cities. I just don't think that the way God made me, it would work in those settings. I feel like the soil of Miami, it's all in the way that God, in for many ways, predestined it for me. Like, it's very providential plan. But for me, when I look at vision, we have this right now, we're in our year-end vision, and it comes from this, the psalmist said, let this be written for a people not yet created, that they may praise the Lord. And I feel like I've been backing up so much and just looking at the story of God and just seeing this God of generations, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I see Miami as a place that for so long was never known for the church or a movement or the body of Christ at large. Mm-hmm. But I see it right now in this cultural moment as a gateway to South America. So much New Yorkers, so many people from California are moving here. Business is taking place here. If you look at the skyline, this is why I want you to move here. Like for 2035, this place looks like Manhattan. And all I'm saying is I feel like I can see a bigger story of influence and its need for an outpost called the church. And that's how I see the church. I don't see VU churches like, VU church is the greatest church in the world. It's the church I'm a part of. And whatever I'm doing, I want to be proud of it. So I care a lot about it, but I see it as a part of a bigger story for even after I'm gone. Like, is there a work? Is there believers in that city? I think the hope of any community is found in the believers in that community. So I find great value and great purpose in discipling.
And being here too.
And being here and seeing people saved in Miami and defying some of the odds of like, bro, how is there thousands of people that are even interested in Jesus? I kind of lend into Tim Keller's idea of like the city to city movement, which is like, you need all types of churches and you need a mega church or you need a large church. Yeah, I just find a lot of fulfillment, satisfaction, and purpose right now in submitting my little story into that bigger story.
That's cool.
And some might call that weak or like, maybe it's a cop out, but for me right now, as I'm talking to you sitting here today, I'm like, I'm finding a lot of momentum in that, energy in that. But for me, the vision right now is I want to keep building churches here in Miami. I want to raise up people. I think there's a huge succession taking place right now in the body of Christ. There's a lot of people that have been pastoring that are aging out, but there's no real succession plan. I feel like the Lord's going to give us leaders that we're training here in Miami, sending out. And I just believe in the church at large. Not VU church. It's not like, oh, our methodology and our model's the perfect thing.
Totally. It's what works for you guys and what's true to you guys.
Yeah. So the parts of it where like what I have to always remind myself is that like, you just said something like, maybe it should blow up. I think at times things should blow up. Not your life. I hope your life. I don't hope I have to, like David, steal someone's wife and have the man murdered.
Yeah.
But I think things should blow up at times. I think sometimes if it's too much pressure, like let it crumble, let it burn. I'm hoping that I can figure out ways to steward. I don't want all the work that we've done just to burn up. I think I want it to be worthy work. But the vision for me right now is to keep building the church and to see people that are under my care and under my leadership flourish, grow. And I'd love to see people sent out from Miami.
Yeah.
I'd love Miami to be a place where it's like, yo, it's not just known for whatever they.
Right.
It's also
but there's actually some light there too.
There's some light there. There's something exciting there. That gets me excited.
No, I love that, man. And I must say, like, over many years of being in and around Christian stuff, right? I've become very cynical and very like disenchanted. And there are, especially with mega churches, but there are two people that run mega churches, like just large scale, because that's how it happened, that I like, that are cynicism killers for me. And you're one of them. And Justin Miller in Orlando, who runs Real Life Church. Down to earth, incredibly chill people who don't put their worth and identity in the big church thing that they built, but see it as like an opportunity to serve more people. And I'm like, you know, my buddy tells me, he's like, Andy, what are you talking about making money? I have a council of people who all get to determine what my salary is.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He's like, I can't even make the money I wanted to if I wanted to. And I'm like, I respect that so much that they've put like almost limitations on themselves in order to ensure that they don't power trip because they know they're not above it. I'm going to say this too, and you can feel free to cut this out because this might be too personal and I'm sharing your info. But when we just met, when I first got here, you came in the room and you were like, yeah, I was just doing some therapy. I just came from a session that I was doing. And I'm like, that is why I trust you. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah.
Like, you get high on your own supply. What I mean by that is like, you believe like people should have therapy and should be healthy and their private lives should be put together. And you believe that for yourself, not just for the other people that you're talking to.
Yeah.
I know people like one of the therapists that I went to go see told me, he's like, I go to therapy because I got to work out my own crap. And I was like, that's why I trust you.
Totally.
And then I know therapists who will never go to therapy. Right? But it's like when you start believing like you're beyond needing help for yourself, like you miss the entire, right. And I'm like, you have, from what I know, you know, and don't have a scandal come out 2 weeks after this and blow me up. But please.
Bro, that's the best. That's the best.
But like you taking care of your own soul in private.
Trying, you know?
I'm like,
I think
man, I love that. And you know, nobody's perfect, right? But it's like you are attempting to walk down the road that you are calling other people to, which is like, be healthy.
Oh, I appreciate you saying that. And I think that we're always all on the journey, and by no means have I ever always got it right. And I know I want to get better. I always have this little phrase, like, you don't have to be the best today, but you got to get better today. And I'm not talking about external like growth. I'm talking about internally, like the soul of who you are, the makeup of who you are. I feel like manhood, just in general, like the different stages of all that, bring new temptations, new pressures, new challenges. I feel like in the stage that we're in right now, the biggest temptation is what you're trying to say is like, do you not have a purpose? Do you not have a deeper why as to what you're doing? And if you lose that, you're gonna go find it in something else. And so when you ask me that question, like, what's the vision? It's like, well, I can start talking to you because I try to keep that at the forefront of what the heck is all this stuff? Is it just to be bigger? Is it just to grow for the sake of some sort of applause? I don't want that. I'm not saying that hasn't ever driven me in my life. I think you have to keep wrestling with that and wringing that out. And I think you have to keep coming before the Lord, the joy of my salvation. But trying to take care of my inner man is a job that's never finished. And it's an inside job that we're always, always working on. And I'm trying to do that for sure. You know, I want to keep growing in those categories. I think for me, words have weight and then words get hijacked and have connotations. It's like, I've never even thought we are a mega church, because I think when that gets said, it's like, oh, that's a place that just totally makes it really, really easy for everyone. It's consumerism. It's just bigger and better. I know that's not totally what it means. It's got my own definition. And so like, I kind of like rage against it. But yeah, I think by everyone's definition, VU has become or is a mega church.
Yeah.
I've always thought it was a real robust community that I'm in. I'm in a small group. I feel like I know the people. I feel like I know the people behind the cameras. I feel like they're real stories and they're real people and they're all on this journey. And so that kind of goes back to what I'm trying to say. Like at this point in my life, I might just have to go, yeah, Rich, you're a mega church. And there's a lot of people out there that just by hearing that right away, there's already a reputation that precedes
I'm good.
itself.
That's not for me.
It's like, cool. I just got to go. I hear you. I can't judge that and like fight back against that. And like, let me prove you wrong. You have to kind of know the why behind the what for yourself.
Totally.
And I think for you, it's like, no matter what you do, it's like, there's going to be some sort of like, bro, but you're a Christian rapper. You're like, but I'm bigger than that. So I have to go, cool. Am I going to fight you every time? Am I going to debate you every time?
Because then you also look nuts.
Yeah.
And that's something I've had to wrestle with. Like, I'll tell you this embarrassing story, and I'll tell you who it was off camera.
Tell me.
But there was a very famous person who that was like rapping my lyrics, and my buddy, who was mutual friends, was filming them rapping my lyrics, and he sends it to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's super cool. This person knows my song or whatever." But in the video, his wife walks up to him and goes, "Who is this?" talking to him while he's rapping. And they go, is it Lecrae or is it the one that I don't like? And I'm like, oh my God. Because he didn't know when he was filming it that I could hear that. And they go, oh, is it the Christian rapper who says he's not a Christian rapper? And I was like, oh my God. This is like the perception that people have had of me. And I'm like, it actually hurts to be misunderstood in that way, right? Because I'm like, oh man, when I try to, dice up what that means, it only ever turns back on me in a negative way. It doesn't actually accomplish the thing I've been trying to do, which is like expand the idea.
Yeah.
And
how do you think most people have misunderstood it? They go, you're just rebellious. You just want it both ways.
The negative way that it gets perceived is you are, now that you're popular, you're denying Jesus. You're trying to say you're not a Christian. Oh, and you want acceptance from the world. So that's why you try to drop him, on some Peter, that you're denying him and he's going to deny you. And I'm like, I'm just saying I don't want to monetize Christianity.
I hear you.
Even though that is unfortunately how my life has turned out. I'm trying to intentionally not do that. I'm trying to create art and monetize that so that I don't have to feel the pressure of pimping out Jesus. That's really what my intention is here.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're just trying to go make more money by getting. I'm like, you don't understand. I could make more money prostituting the ideas of Jesus. So it's like you truly get misconstrued.
I hear you.
And it's actually like, even I have a friend right now who is like wrestling through the ideas of faith and like he's coming to the Lord, but he's like, he's not churched, so he doesn't have any of the language.
Sure.
And
which is beautiful.
It's awesome because the other day he goes, some guy asked me if I'm saved. What is he even talking about? And I've had to even like think through that, like, yeah, what does it mean to be saved? Is it that you said the calculation that said this prayer and it unlocked the thing? And he was like, that doesn't make sense. I was like, you're right, it doesn't. Which we should talk about that.
Let's talk about
being saved. But
well, there's versions of it too, right? That you will be saved in the future.
You are being saved.
You are being saved.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And you're being saving. Like there's these different tenses of it.
Yep. Well, anyway, to finish that point before I get into saved, because that's a good one. But it was like, this guy was like asking him, are you saved? Are you a Christian? He goes, I actually don't want that title. He's like, because I don't think I'd be a perfect representation of what it means to be a Christian. And he goes, also, it kind of has all these weird connotations connected to it. He's like, I think people like immediately put you in a box to align politically and all this stuff. And so now he's like, and I've wrestled with this too, is like when someone asks you, hey, are you a Christian? What I want to ask them is, what do you mean by that?
Sure. I think it's good.
But even by saying that, people are like, oh, you're denying. And I'm like, no. I actually think, what are you actually asking?
Yep.
Because you have an idea of what it means to be a Christian, and so do I. And we might not be aligned on that. So if I just say yes, am I a follower have I submitted my life to Jesus and try to become more like him every day? Is that what you're asking me? Or are you saying,
well, it's interesting.
You agree with me on these political issues?
It's interesting because I think, once again, misinterpreted, misunderstood is so big. And you were kind of answering, like, I think that the big way that I misunderstood how people have attacked or criticized. What's funny is, as we're even talking, another way that I would, if I was ever going to misunderstand when you're having that definition, I don't go there with you. I would go, oh, Andy doesn't want the pressure now that, as his profile has grown so large, that he doesn't want the pressure to be the representative of Jesus. That's not what you said either. So I'm saying there's more tentacles of being misunderstood. And it kind of goes into what that guy said.
Even amongst people who are for you and with you. And you know what I'm saying? You're like, no, I'm not even saying that.
No, you're not.
We gotta,
but it's just good to clarify. I'm just going,
totally.
That's what's so interesting about this, and how life works, and where it goes, and the internet, and being an artist, and having a platform.
Well,
there's a whole lot.
This is actually very funny. There's an Instagram account called "Is Blank a Christian Band?" Have you guys ever seen this account?
No.
Very funny. And they DM'd me, and the DM just says, "Are you a Christian band?" Right? And if you go and look at the profile, he asks all these different bands, and he just screenshots their response and posts it. And that's the whole account. It's very funny.
Did you give him a response?
I did.
You're a good man.
So I go, what do you mean by that?
Respond. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean by that? And it's funny, it turns into this long dialogue back and forth. But where other bands would be like, F yeah, I'm a Christian band, you know what I'm saying? Totally. Or just like, yes, all caps.
Yep.
And I'm like, sometimes it might just be easier if someone goes, hey, are you? Oh yeah, yep. And then be like, I'm not going to get into this with you.
Sure. I don't think there's something wrong with that.
You know what I'm saying? So like, sometimes I even feel the temptation to be like, Andy, you don't got to give everybody everything. You know what I'm saying? And let them, they're going to misunderstand you anyway. So you could totally just cop out and be like, yep, sure.
Earlier,
so to your mega church thing, it's like, yeah, hey, mega church pastor, like, yeah, I guess I am.
And I think I actually would do that. I don't think I would even go into the lengths of why I don't think that we are, but it's just silly because it's like, this guy is a complete idiot,
You are.
He's in denial. It's like, and we probably are, but you just have to, sometimes you got to embrace some of those things and accept it. Earlier, you said something about yourself that I think is interesting. You said that I'm cynical. Why do you say that about yourself?
I think just having expectations as a young man of what it meant to be a Christian, and then seeing being disappointed by leaders or people I looked up to, or seeing abuse of money or church or power and things like that. And then it makes you second guess a lot of what was kind of the foundation of your beliefs.
Okay.
And I think here's where some of my cynicism also comes from. Cynicism, which I've been wrestling with for a while. It's like when you believe that you can see through everything. And like you really know what's going on, which is a form of pride, right? Like I don't know what's going on, right? And I don't see through everything. And I also am not like the perfect example either, so chill out. But I have really wrestled with this idea of like, especially now with the way that the internet works, is I can't tell when someone's being sincere. And sincerity is this thing that, how do I know you're being sincere when you're filming everything? Right? Like, people are like, now people aren't going to agree with it. Why are you laughing?
Because it's just already such a good take. But yes, all right, keep going. But keep going, yeah.
So like, hey, we're going to go out and bless all these people and give them, free stuff, right? And it's like, you go and do it, but then it's like there's these funny memes that's like, hey, homeless guy, hey, bring the camera here. Hey, so we're going to change your life for a day. We're going to take you to Dave & Buster's. All right. Yeah. Are you filming this? And then after that, we're going to give you a shower and a haircut and you get the other camera angle. And then we're going to drop you back here on this box and never talk to you again. All right. All right. Film it. We're going. All right. Here's $10,000. Oh my God. So did you bless them, or are you blessing yourself? Because the one who actually gets the reward is you, because now you look awesome. That's why I hated the Drake video, the God's Plan video. Everyone's like, this is so amazing. I was like, you know what would have been amazing is if he did that and didn't film it, I'd have been like, that's incredible.
Kind of sound like Jesus now. Are you a follower of the way? That's a new way of saying Christian. Yeah. I guess I'm a part of that.
I guess. Yes. No, I'm like, and everyone's like, yo, why are you such a hater, bro? I'm like, I'm not hating. He looks awesome by this happening.
I hear you.
Don't you understand? Like, that's the point of this, is that he looks awesome. And I'm like, but because in serving others, it's self-serving.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, is that my cynicism? Or is that just like, you know what? I'm not going to say nothing. Yeah, it was great. I loved it. I'm glad he blessed those people. And I don't know, maybe his heart really was to, some people be like, no, I want to film it so that it can inspire other people to do the same thing. But I'm like, this is why my wires are crossed. We have right now, in the time that we live in, we are living on social media as a personality and living in real life. And I don't know where those lines converge or don't. Like, what's for you and what's just for you and what's for the world? Actually, all of it's the same right now. So it's like the other day, there's like this big famous Christian artist who's like trying to have like this sincere moment, and they're talking to camera, and like as they're talking, you know, they're like welling up with tears, and I'm like, oh man, this guy's having a sincere moment. And then I hear the music start to come in behind him. I'm like, wait, so you were having like a sincere moment direct to camera, and then you went and edited it? And I'm like, that's performative. I was like, you tucked your own song behind it to swell up so that it ended at the perfect time with the video to promote your single? I'm like, this is psychotic. And I'm looking around, I was like, does anybody think this is nuts? And everyone's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe that's my cynicism. Maybe I just like, okay, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to say nothing. But it bothers me because what really bothers me is I'm like, you guys don't see that this is performative? And I think like, it's okay when things are performative, when it's art. But now our actual life and our sincere moments that are supposed to be is a performance too. And that's where my wires are crossed. I'm like, oh, wait, is this all performance art? You know?
I wonder if all of this is just due to social media.
I do. I think social media has become, I think people feel like they are their online personality more than they are their real life. Like there's a more care and attention focused on that PR version of them than who they actually are as a human. Wow. And I'm like, we're upside down if that's the case. It's nice to be important. It's more important to be nice. Shout out John Cena. But you know what I mean? Like, and that's
retirement.
Really, yeah,
man, we lost him.
You got me, brother. I'm sorry.
I think what you're saying right now is very, very insightful.
And we're talking about this on camera.
Totally.
So now I feel like I'm in the upside down. I'm a part of it.
But don't you think we would talk about this off camera too?
We would, but there would just be funnier things happening.
Of course, way funnier, and I would be much less measured. All of this is a funny take, by the way. It's like we do 2 times a year, 21 days of prayer and fasting, and it's always funny. It's like, you know, we walk around with the staff. It's like, what do you fast? And we say it. It's like, well, as soon as I said it, now I just got my reward. You think I'm better than you? You know, it's like,
that's right.
I guess I just lost a mansion in heaven for that one. So do you think I'm pretty cool that I'm on a water fast right now?
Yeah.
But I also wonder on the deeper level, because I think that let's talk about that. But are you cynical towards your wife? Are you cynical towards your child? Are you cynical towards the people that you work with? Or this is only towards the world or towards faith-based places? Are you cynical towards...
I'm cynical towards...
Because you just said that about yourself. And so I'm just going, I think everything you said, that's a great conversation. Let's keep having it. Like
specifically around the ideas of faith and proclamation.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, I actually think the way Jesus calls us to live is more about like our heart and our posture and the life we live versus the product we make and put out in the world. And I just think when I see the packaged version that comes out for the goal of growing something, I'm like, I don't know if it's sincere. And I struggle with that. So that's what it is. It's mostly around faith. But I also have a very difficult time with people being performative and not being authentic. Period. Which is why I hate, this could be taken out of context. I hate seeing the Black Lives Matter sign in front of someone's yard. I'm like, why do you have to have this in your front yard? Why don't you just live it? Oh, I want to put a big sign in the front that lets everyone know I like black people, even though I don't have any as friends. Like, stop with the posturing. If you actually lived it, you wouldn't need to put the sign out there. Just live it. Just be it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's so funny. I even think it's so funny, like, Pride Month comes around, and because it's like very popular to like stand with LGBT and gay and corporations, there was like a window when this was popular.
Yep.
That every single corporation did it. Not because they actually stand with gay and LGBTQ, but it's because it's like, this is best for the bottom dollar to make sure that we align with these things and change our logo to a rainbow for a month. And I'm like, oh, now it's not in vogue and they've stopped doing it. So I was like, oh, you don't stand with LGBTQ anymore or gay people anymore? Because where's your posturing? Where's your logo change?
Where's
you don't do that anymore. Oh, it's interesting because it's not part of the cultural zeitgeist right now.
Yep.
So I'm like, are you about it or not? Or are you just putting on a show? In anything, that really pisses me off. And that's why I'm screaming right now. Sorry, you got to fix the levels. But clearly I'm worked up about it because I'm like, this is so lame. Why don't you just be who you are?
But this is the prophet inside of you, and this is why you should be a preacher.
Jeez.
All right,
fine.
Where do you, for you, how do you feel like, because let's just, yes, I agree with everything you're saying. And if anything, I think it's convicting. But now let's just turn the focus personal. Like, what is it you try to do personally? Like, do you question your own sincerity? Is that where this jumps into? Is that what you get worried about? Like, are you going, is this sincere? Like, you trying to figure out, how do I market a record? I can't do something virtuous because that would come off that I got my reward here on earth. And God forbid I do something on camera that looks like it's got virtue attached to it. So I have to do all sarcasm or humor because that feels more
totally
real and sincere. Like,
right.
Maybe talk about that for a moment because I think it's kind of interesting.
Right. I just try to be self-aware and then like honest if I can.
It's good.
You know what I'm saying? And I think what's also helped is just try not to take myself too serious.
Yep.
Which is also why it's unnerving to see people take themselves so serious. I'm like, dude, relax. Like, you know.
It's a song.
Yeah, you're a dork. Like, take it easy. So if someone roasts me really good, I'll be like, that's funny. You got me. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like, I participate in it because I understand I can be ridiculous too and have been ridiculous and taken myself too serious. So having friendships like with with John, with Words Played, we're working on this new project, Magic and Bird 2.
Man, I miss
so
that
much
guy.
of the, he's a trip.
He's doing good?
He's in Atlanta, he's with us. And we're working on new music. And it's like, so much of the records we work on are this intersection of like, okay, we still believe, we have faith. We also, Christianity isn't the totality of our identity as people and cultural references. So our music is this weird amalgamation of self-deprecation, humor, culture, faith, right?
Yep.
Like the opening record is, look here, it's a brand new year, but the same old me, you already know I'm coming. Thou shalt not put your hand on the Lord's anointed. Nah, you know you can't touch it. Like, just funny, right?
Yep.
This Merlot is an 80s baby. You got to sip that, don't chug it. Even 3-6 got to admit when the trumpet blow, y'all know who run it. I'm like, there's so many cultural references happening at that point, but it's the intersection of like faith cues and ideas. But like, I'm also referencing 3-6 Mafia and who run it on that record. And I'm also talking about a Merlot from the 80s. And I'm also talking about you can't touch this, you know,
totally.
MC Hammer, right? Like,
shout out
it's
Hammer.
just all this stuff happening at the same time. And for me, that's the truest and most interesting expression of my life and faith at an intersection. But I understand that people are going to be like, why would you talk about alcohol? I'm like, because wine is delicious. Have you ever had it? You know, but I understand I'm going to get backlash for that. You know what I mean? And so
You're
I've had
to get backlash for that.
Totally. Because there's some conservative somewhere that thinks alcohol is from Satan.
Do they know that Jesus drank it?
They have no idea. It was grape juice.
The water was dirty.
It's grape juice.
You couldn't make alkaline holy water?
Right.
Come on now.
But no, it is a wrestle. And I guess I'm just trying to be self-aware and not in a way that causes me to be immobilized, like fearful.
Because that's the next part of it, right? Like,
right.
Does that ever happen? Do you think? Like,
I think
your self-awareness is like stopping you from just being fun and being creative and being misinterpreted, and someone going, "He's not sincere." It's like
totally. I can totally have moments of what is it called? Analysis paralysis, over analyzing something. But I have some seasons where that's like overtaking me, and then some seasons where I'm like, hey, I understand I'm going to be misunderstood.
Yep.
And that's okay.
Yep.
Let's move forward anyways. And I think that's like what I have to resolve to is like, people are going to hate you no matter what you do. So just do the thing that's true to you anyways.
Yep.
And try not to, try to make as many good decisions as you can along the way to make sure that you don't blow it up for everybody else.
Yep.
You know, you want to keep making music, you want to make art. All right, take some of those shows you don't want to do and employ these people and try to invest in real estate or get some other thing going on so you don't have to sell your soul in order to like keep doing the thing. So I got to pee so bad, it's insane.
Go pee.
Yeah, I'm going to pee and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you. But you know what? Before I go pee, drain it. Sorry, I'm so sorry. This is how guys talk. When you're, I found the
This is
quote.
performance art right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually have to pee.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that's.
I'm peeing my pants right
that
now.
We wrote earlier.
It's a bit.
Yeah. If you wet your pants right now, I promise you, please do it just for the views. Like we just start peeing our pants. Like
if peeing your pants is cool, I'm Miles Davis. Yeah.
Yes. Peeing your pants is cool. Who got the lighter? That's a salt, brother. Stop looking at me, Swan. You can imagine.
He called the
they got it on. No, they didn't. All right, sorry. Billy
no, they didn't. Him and her.
Yeah.
Yes. Me, her.
Rest in peace, Farley.
The greatest.
What are you going to say?
Remember earlier I was like, I'm trying to find a quote.
Yes, you got it?
I couldn't find it. The quote was this, and maybe you can do some cutting magic. It was, the more power you have, the less honest you can be.
Wow.
And that's, a friend said that one time. And I was like, oh, that is the tension everyone feels once they grow something to a certain level where they're like, if I'm honest, I'm going to blow things up for everybody. And so now I have to measure my words more and more and more. And the more power you have, the less honest you can be. Donald Trump does not believe that. All right, here we go. It's quite frankly, I'm honest.
He's just getting going. Straight back. Second star to the right, straight on till morning. It's a quote from Peter Pan. What time is it right now?
Some of you, you're wrestling with what your next step is. Friends, embrace the wrestle. The wrestle is where you discover who God is and who you are. The wrestle is precious. The wrestle is holy.
Friend, what God has started in the spirit, do not try to finish in the flesh. God called you. God started this thing. God says, you're the best man.
Church is a celebration of the dead who have come to life and are thankful and generous and sacrificial. Why? Because we were dead, but now we're alive. We were lepers, but now we're not. Come on, let the party continue. This is church.
Now you didn't flush that toilet, right? It's broken.
Flushed. I flushed. I did
Get
see.
Roto-Rooter in here.
Are you serious?
No, you can totally flush. Of course.
Okay. I was at an Airbnb that said I can't flush toilet paper the other day, and I was like,
what am I paying for?
yeah, you want me to put it in a basket and put it over my shoulder like a continental soldier and walk out with it? Are you crazy? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. What's your skincare routine?
Me?
Yeah.
Why? You like
Don't
it?
answer that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I need it later, though.
Okay.
Do we need to start a podcast just so we can be friends?
I think we should.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I text you and you're so busy. I can tell when you're giving me the love you, bro. Talk to you later.
Really?
You're giving me the one quick. You get these texts, right?
I'm
love
the
you.
worst.
See you there. Yeah, I'm like,
he's
texting 48 people
it's the
and you're giving me the.
It's the mega church. It's a copy and paste.
Yeah, so I think the only way to make
Talk
you
to my
sit down,
staff, Andy.
No, love you.
AI response.
Well, you know when you text something and it's got like 3 questions and then it goes, totally, love you. And you're like,
I'm the worst.
I'm like, oh, he's just busy. See, I don't take it anyway.
But you know, this is a big part of my life that a lot of friends think I'm a terrible texter and like it's been interventions and stuff. Just if,
oh, really?
If that makes you feel any better. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
No, I'm not mad. Because I get what's happening. I just go, oh, when I see
he's
him,
losing his soul.
No, I just go, when I see him, we'll have a really good time. It's just getting to see you. That's the part where like it doesn't happen.
Here's the deal. I'll hang out with you, but it has to be on camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
We have to
make content out of it.
Yes. If I'm happy to talk on camera.
As long as we can monetize it. Yeah. So I think we need to start a podcast so we could have a friendship.
I would love to start a podcast with you. I think it'd be amazing. I would just tee you up the whole time. I would just tee you up.
To go viral?
Oh, bro.
With hot takes?
Bro, your takes. A couple things the team let me know. Number one, it's not Psalm 61, it's Psalm 51.
You got to edit that because you can't be on camera.
I can't be out here quoting the Psalms wrong. My God. Number two, Marshall Mathers came out in 2000, not 98.
Okay, yeah. So we were right there. We said 99.
No, that we were wrong.
No, but it was close. I said I think 99.
Oh, if we're gonna start getting judged on a curve, I mean, we might be in hell. Let's just start with that, okay? No, I'm a good guy.
Dude, 99, 2000?
Why should I let you in? I'm a good guy. I made people laugh.
Okay.
This is the gospel.
Can we have the salvation talk? Or no, or do you have something else? Go ahead.
Well, no, my challenge right now is that
you have to be somewhere else. Oh, totally. All right. Well, let's wrap it up.
No, we're not wrapping it up yet. We can do the salvation talk. Let's go.
No. It's all good. You don't want people to.
Oh, you don't want people to get clarity on salvation? So you don't want to talk about soteriology is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Soteriology,
is that what it's called?
It's the doctrine of salvation. By grace through faith. It's actually a very interesting thing, and we can't talk about it for a moment. It's just like even like Protestant soteriology versus like Greek Orthodox is, I don't know if it's drastically different, but they would see it as that salvation. We would probably call it sanctification, the process of becoming more like Christ, but they would almost kind of use those different phases of salvation. The Eucharist, it's the presence of Jesus' body, where like, a lot of times evangelicals, it's just a symbol. I would go back to this term of mystery, like I don't think the Catholic doctrine, which is called transubstantiation, the physical body and the physical blood. I don't think I believe that, but I land somewhere that there's a deep mystery, and I think it's more than just two symbols and just carbohydrates.
Well, to a more practical point, the only reason I ask is this friend who has been friends with me for a long time, about 5 years. He came up to me and goes like, "Yo, somebody just pressed me and was like, yo, are you saved?" Because he's like, this is a popular person on the internet. People know him for stuff. So they pressed him and he's like, what do you mean saved? Right. And as we started talking about it, I was like, oh shoot. When he asked me, am I saved? Every like youth group evangelical moment came to mind. Like, dude, this is the time. Put your hand right on his forehead and just take him straight to the kingdom.
Yeah.
Right. But it was like, he was like, what was he saying? What did he mean by that? Right. And I was like, oh, are you saved? I think what he was trying to do, and made me reassess what I had learned. It was like, he was trying to get you to intellectually and verbally agree to something that becomes the magical code to save you in the afterlife. And I was like, that's pretty lame. I was like, as opposed to what Jesus talks about, which is like, yeah, I don't want you to just be like, say the right words and then all of a sudden you're guaranteed to get into heaven. But it's about the way you're living now, bringing heaven to earth.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, where did that come from? And I was like, I think it comes from the certainty that we want to have when we're communicating about faith. Hey, repeat this after me. Say this. Unlock the code. And then we can both rest easy. All right, good. The work is done. You're in. All right, see you later. Right. And I've had to like really think about like, wait, what does it mean for and like, when does someone actually become saved? Is it after the prayer, or is it in a secret moment between them and God when the heart turns towards him and says, I know I need you, And it's become an interesting combo, and I know you got to go, so we won't dive too deep into it.
I think we should talk about it for a moment, because I agree with you. And then my pushback would be that I think salvation, once again, has been relegated to a pragmatic thing, which is raise your hand, repeat a prayer, now you're good, move on to the next. And if we're not careful, we will treat people like they're projects. And I don't know who the person he was talking to. I don't even want to judge the motivation of all that. It sounds like you have more context there.
Yeah.
But there is clear scriptural grounds regarding verses like believe in your heart, confess with your mouth. Jesus says, if you deny me to others, I'll deny you before my Father. Yet to all who received him and believed in his name, he gave them the right to be called children of God. So I think that a lot of evangelism today maybe only has one aspect, which is they think about a harvest. But gardening is probably a better metaphor for evangelism, which is planting seed, watering seed, doing life. I think that you find a lot of value even in going the mystery of it all, going, you're not doing the saving. Jesus called us to be fishers of men, not catchers of men. He does the catching, we do the fishing.
Yeah, he closes the deal.
He closed the deal, yeah. And you're absolutely right there. Like, I think people can raise their hand on Sunday. It doesn't mean they got saved. And they can pray a prayer. It doesn't mean they got saved.
Totally.
I think that once again, people would maybe judge what I do as like, oh, Rich is just, turn them through like they're little widgets. I don't see it that way. But I do believe
widgets is crazy.
Well, I don't know, some kind of like little
totally
like there's some kind of a cog on the wheel. Or there's some kind of thing coming through the assembly.
Totally,
line. Like, hey, this is forward motor run. Bring another person through. I'll save them.
Yeah,
we can't save them. So you're absolutely right. But I think that you could be potentially pushing too far the other way, which is I think there is some version of intellect to go. You want to bring a person to a place of confession and belief, and repentance is the big thing here, which is acknowledging. Let's just try to broaden that out.
Yep.
I don't have problems. I am the problem here. Like, I fall short of this standard. There has to be a moment in someone's life, I believe, for salvation to take place. What is saving? It is this eternal thing, but it's a right now, today, bringing heaven to earth. Is there a perfect line? I don't know if you and I know that exact moment.
That's where I've been exploring.
But I think there is a moment of encounter with God that starts to create the transformation of me going, I'm now
totally.
And so that's where I'd push back of going,
encounter.
I don't want to just make it like that. Like I don't like it being explained that way. It's like, just check off a list. I think it's much deeper and robust. Are we friends or not? Like, I think our friendship's growing. I think that we get to know each other more and more. I think that we reveal who we are. Repentance is going, I'm full of all this stuff and I'm coming out of hiding.
Right.
And I'm asking for your grace to meet me and forgive me. And I want to start a relationship,
Now, the interesting thing about this is the friend that I'm talking about is unchurched.
Yep.
So he doesn't have any of that language.
Yep.
So he is not like saying those things directly, but I believe a form of that is happening in him where he'd be like, nah, I know. He would say like, nah, I know there's a God and I know like I believe in him. And I know I want to be aligned with him. And I know I'm not perfect.
Sure.
Right? He would be like, yeah, totally. But
what's his feeling towards the scriptures?
He doesn't read them.
Okay.
He doesn't read the scripture.
Would you ever say, hey, have you thought about reading the scripture?
Totally. I talk to him about it all the time.
Good.
And I tell him, it's so funny because I'll tell him like a basic Bible story. His mind will be blown because I'm like, oh, you've never read this stuff. And, that I've been encouraging him towards that. But because he doesn't come from a church background or like a scripture background, this is like kind of happening in like a general revelation sense. You know what I'm saying? And maybe even through our friendship and different things like that.
Of course, through your friendship.
But I'm like, oh man, it's hard to have a direct marker for him because he's not using the same language, And that's been a fascinating thing to walk through with him because it makes me think about this, which is like, sometimes when you get in Christian culture too deep, your vocabulary and how to describe things, you start to lose touch with a person that is like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And it's made me have to figure out, okay, how would I explain this if I couldn't use those words?
Sure.
So the next thing I want to talk to him about is baptism. And I want to be like, hey, I want to tell you about this water ceremony.
Yep.
It's a ceremonial act, where the symbolism of these things as a public representation of what you believe inside, Instead of like, yo, you trying to get baptized? He's like, oh, I've heard that word.
Yeah.
But I actually don't know what it means. It's just, it's been refreshing for me to have those friendships.
Where I would encourage you is that there's no doubt in my mind that the reason why you're in his life is to be on the journey with him. And I think that friendship and relationship is the perfect context for, here's another word that would be freaky to him, of discipleship, of developing and teaching. There's that beautiful story where, is it Philip who shows up to that eunuch? He's got the scripture and he's reading. These guys will end up changing. I think he's reading Isaiah 61. Don't come at me in the comments. But he's like, do you know what you're reading? He's like, how can I unless someone explains it to me? And so what I would try to push back is don't let Christian culture today rob you of the truth that's been lived out for 2,000 years. Some things are new vocabulary. Everywhere you see New Testament believers and early Christians go, it's repent and be saved. Repent and believe. This is John's message. This is what Paul, as they go into certain places. So there is some version of going, what you don't want to do is just live in the abstract forever.
Sure,
because it creates confusion. So like, I believe there's a higher power. That's cool. That's a great thing. And if he wants to live there forever, I'd still be his friend. But if he's curious, it's like, well, I actually think this God has a name.
Yeah.
This is why I think he has a name. And I think when that guy was asking about, are you saved? He's trying to say, have you made a decision about this guy?
Made a decision. Yeah.
And I think that is an important moment. Now, we can keep going layers into it because you got to pick up your cross daily. And I think a lot of people will go, oh, I did that when I was 12. And now I live like hell. It's like, well, what is your definition of salvation? Yeah, it's by grace through faith, but has that shown up into your life? And that is the sanctification process for me of what I'd be on. But I would just want to help, and I'm not saying that you're there, but like alleviate, don't let the mistakes or the weird culture of today rob you of ancient truth that's found in orthodoxy of what early as Christians, how they talked and what they believed about certain things. And I think that you're the perfect person because I think that you're very, very charitable and understanding, and you can hear stuff and it doesn't shock you and freak you out. But I think that it sounds like from that story, you're going, oh, I feel like he's encountering someone who's just like using a bunch of language, not taking the time to hear where this guy's at. It's like, let's pray this prayer right now. It's like, well, I still have more questions. It's like, you're looking for more sincerity and sensitivity probably.
Totally. And ways to, I'm asking the question, what am I actually inviting him into?
Yep.
And I was like, oh, the teaching that I always got was like kind of inviting him into this math equation of say this,
I hear what you're
out
saying.
loud, repeat, and then it equals that. I was like, actually, it's not just that. So I have to know what you're inviting someone into. And by him asking me that question, it's made me reevaluate and be like, oh, I'm inviting you into eventually making a distinct decision. And I was able to use the analogy of the relationship that he's in. I was like, so you're with this girl, right? But you made a decision to make her your wife, right? There's an engagement and then there's a ceremony. And I'm like, yo, is that kind of the parallel of the water ceremony and the baptism, and the engagement is like, I got to know you. And I think discipleship can happen before someone even gets saved.
Of course.
They're learning about and how it all works and then going, and now I also want this for me. And then they make the proposal, there's probably theological holes all through this, but it's like, no, I'm making the commitment that this is it. And then the public ceremony, the wedding, is the baptism. It's like before God and before other people, this is, the beautiful image of the rebirth and my commitment. And, explaining it to him that way was a lot more helpful than like, all right, just say this.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm working through that with him, and it's
I think the father running towards the son when he's a long way off is a beautiful picture of salvation.
Yeah.
I just turned in that direction and he came running towards me.
Yeah.
And I think what we're inviting people into is not just an afterlife, it's a here and now. What is the here and now? It's called this thing called the abundant life. A life full of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. Life on all cylinders. And real living begins, I think, when you're in relationship with the one who made you. And it's all upside down. It's all back to Chesterton, the paradox. You want to be great? He gives you a pathway to be great. But it's not going to come in the path that you've heard. It's through service. Oh, you can find joy. You can find joy in suffering. Like, we can keep going. You can have glory, but you're going to have to suffer. Like you can have life, but you have to lose your life. Yeah. And I think salvation is much more robust than, of course, just praying a mere prayer. And I think that you're keenly aware of that, and you know that to be true. And that's what you're raging against, is what I said.
Yeah. The monocropping,
of course,
of Christianity, which is like, the oversimplification to export versus the complex and nuance to live in. But I know you have to go.
This is terrible. You have a new project out.
I do.
Are you going to tour it? I think
we might do it in the fall.
I want you to.
Yeah, because we'll have the and Magic and Bird 2 out, and I think, and then some singles and stuff. So I think by the fall we might go and do it. So like 8 months out from now.
Tell me about this project.
This project is called the and the logo on it is the end with the E crossed out and the and it's really just meant to be a project that is like the beginning of my releases as an independent artist. Which, you know, I talk about it on the project, but it's like I am in so many new phases of my life, the ending of one part of my life and the beginning of a new. And I just think there's like a beauty in that. There's like, I say it at the end of the project, I'm like, I'm somewhere between grief and gratitude, where you grieve the things that end, but you're also grateful for what's to come. And like that tension is okay. And on the project, I have one song called Play Along, where the whole first half of the song is about me criticizing the misuse and monetization of God through churches. And then on another song right afterward, it's a worship song. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, there's both.
Yep.
There's the criticism and frustration with God and Jesus and Christianity as a ecosystem.
Yep.
You know?
And
also he's so good. Let's sing about his, you know, let's worship him forever.
Sounds pretty human.
And it's just a human project. And some people are saying it's my best work to date. Some people, they're saying it's the best. All other projects are loser projects. No,
That's crazy, man.
Some people are saying it's my best work. I love the visuals we're releasing. I do feel like, honestly, if I'm not innovating, I should stop. I actually feel like after all these years of making music, I'm getting better.
Come on.
And I'm like, when I stop getting better and it's like, all right, let's just revert back to what used to work, I think I'm going to stop. But until then, I'm going to keep innovating, keep creating. And this project is like one of my favorites I've ever done. And then we have Magic and Bird 2, which is starting to roll out in January. And it'll drop in February.
Let's go.
So this is my new independent journey as an artist. I'm doing it on my own with my little team. And this means I have ownership of my music for the first time ever. And ownership has become so important to me, you know, over the years, finally figuring out how the business works. And yeah, I appreciate you having me on because one, it's fun to talk to you, but two, it's like any support that we can get as an independent artist is like, you need it because you don't have the big machine and the relationships and all that stuff to just amplify your music. You really have to earn a fan and they have to tell somebody else. So I've been saying this. People have been texting me like, oh man, I love this project, bro. This is your best work. I said, don't tell me.
Tell them.
Go to your internet, go to your social media and tell somebody else about it because I'm like, I appreciate the comments, but
I need it to spread. I mean, if this is going to actually go.
Yeah, if it's going to go, I need the help like that. So support me that way. And that's been convicting too because I'm like, oh, you know what? When I really like something, I should blow it up. I should tell people like we do about our faith.
Of course.
Like the reason why evangelism or whatever becomes easy is because you're like, this is awesome. You should know about it.
It's changed my life. I love this record.
Right.
Well, if there's anyone I know that can do that, you're at the top of the list. I feel like your creativity, your innovation, I think that God's given you a brain that, as we can even see on this podcast, that you can see in lots of different spaces at once. And I feel like it's a really exciting time for you because it's really bringing all of the skills that God's given you, all of the years of experience. And now you're getting to take the risk of putting all that on Front Street.
Yeah.
But I want to encourage you that I think it's going to be better than you expected it. And I think that there's a beautiful future that's being forged in front of you. But I also applaud you for, at this point in your life, all the things that you're saying. I appreciate your honesty. I always have appreciated your honesty. I think it's healing for others. And your fearlessness and courage to be honest gives people permission to do so themselves. And if they could just be a little bit more honest, that's where all the healing comes from. But I'm excited about where you're going. We're trying to do a listening party, I think, in February with Andy in Miami. So we'll give you guys dates on that for sure. If you want to do it, I think we should.
Totally. I'd love to.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Because more cities are popping up in availability. So I'm like, we might need to extend this
Let's
run.
do Miami. We call this Mature Me Podcast.
Mature me?
Mature Me.
Good, because you need it.
I know.
Bad.
What's one area right now that you need to mature in?
That I need to mature in? You know what I actually think, because I talk for a living and I share what I think and I feel, I think the area I need to mature in is to not talk. Like to be silent. and to know that my words have impact, and like knowing when not to say anything. I think that's become like such a like the thing like the Lord's like pressing on me right now. You know, like I might have a criticism of something or a thought on something. I'm like, no one else needs to hear that right now. I just need to talk to. Sorry, I just need to talk to the Lord about that right now, because I don't want my, the things I'm working through sometimes to maybe taint what it is for somebody else. And I've had moments where it's like someone's super excited about something, right? Like I knew that I won't say the names, but it's like this kid, he's like fallen in love for the first time, 15, 16 years old. And he's coming to me all excited. Like, yo, I got this guy, I'm in love. And I'm like, she's going to break your heart, right? Like I'm just thinking I'm thinking to myself, like, this is going to end terribly, as it always does at 15, right? Or the very few cases where people are together but I didn't say any of that stuff. I said, I am so happy that you're getting to experience love for the first time. Like, yo, I'm just in it with him, knowing that I could say something to crush him or whatever. But no, hey, you don't
that
need to say
requires
that.
restraint.
Requires restraint. And then when it did happen, as a year later, I was able to be there to comfort him through it. I knew it was going to happen in a way, but it was like, oh man, if I would have done that, he wouldn't have come to me, because it'd have been like, I don't want him to say I told you so. And I'm like, oh, the Lord is teaching me like restrain, exercise wisdom. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes your silence is like one of the best things you can offer somebody, or your compassion versus like your justified criticism or whatever.
Holding space,
man. Same thing in marriage too. It's like, you don't need to voice that right now. Maybe the thing is to like love them through that thing for, instead of, well, why don't you ever, or do that, or relationships, So I'm saying shut up. So I should.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and the only Andy Mineo. We love you so much.
Love you,
I'm
man.
excited about 2026 for you, all that you're doing. And yes, let's do part 2 of this. Let's just start a podcast together.
The Mature Us podcast.
We love y'all. Bro, you crushed that. It was amazing. The Mature Us. That awaits all of us, that you were born to live.